Hey, welcome to the channel. Let's talk about my updated tier list for all the comics that are out there. So starting with the secret rares, I decided to add the secret rares, the amount total for each comic issue out there. I did this because the latest Spider-Man, which is the Amazing Spider-Man number 14, is coming out here shortly, and it's going to have 1,400 secret rares. That's quite a bit, so that means all these comics that have had 600 secret rares or less are starting to become a little bit more unique. As far as the tiers goes, I decided to add a S plus, and the reason behind that was to get Marvel Comics number 1 away from every other comic. I feel like it's very unique and it should have its own bracket. I do think eventually though there's going to be some of these comics that are going to come out and they're going to be in the S plus bracket with it as well. So don't think that that's the only comic that's ever going to be that expensive. I think there's going to be some other ones that will definitely give it a run for its money. Some of the other comics that I've decided to change up as far as increasing where they are in on the tier bracket, starting with Thanos down there. So I took Thanos out of the D zone and put it up in the Charlie tier section. And I did this because I feel Thanos deserves that spot. It is a really nice comic, and because it's part of the MCU, I think it's going to have its place here. Now physically that comic's not worth a whole lot, so just a heads up on that, but I'm still going to put it in the C zone. I think that's just a great area for it for now. If the prices do increase though for the secret rare and the ultra rare, and they get up to high enough, then I will move it up. But until then, it sits there. So we also have the Power of X. The Power of X, the comic itself physically is not worth much, but there's only 250 secret rares on this one. So what I'm waiting for is if the secret rare gets up to, let's just say, closer to 3,500, I'm probably going to take it and put it in the A bracket. But right now it sits somewhere in the low 2,000s for the secret rare, so I've not moved it up that high yet. The Whatif Spider-Man I moved up. It has 455 secret rares. It's actually a decent comic. It's not the most expensive comic, but it does have a decent physical price. So I felt the need to put it in the B zone. Now we got the New Mutants. So for the New Mutants, I have increased it, put it up in the alpha area. And the reason why is because market cap, there's a lot of people putting a decent amount of money into this comic. So I feel it deserves its place up there. It is the first appearance of Deadpool, and a lot of people are very familiar with Deadpool. So we should see more Deadpool, whether they're TV series or maybe movies, and I think that's going to increase the price of this comic itself. As far as the two new comics that we have the Avengers and the Amazing Spider-Man. So the Avengers, that one's issue number 80, and then the Amazing Spider-Man, that one's issue number 14. So for them, they both have their own VeVe exclusive variants. Stan Lee did work on both of those, so that's pretty cool. You also have Ditko on there for the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, I will say, people are probably going to question why I have it in the A zone, but that comic itself is worth a decent amount of money. I want to say the fair market value on it is somewhere around 40,000 for that comic. I think it needs to be there. Yes, there's a lot of secret rares, and it's probably going to have a much lower price as far as the secret rares go, but that's okay. What I'm looking at total is the actual market cap. I think people should be putting a decent amount of money into this. So even if the secret rare is only worth, let's just say, $800, that's fine because it has twice the amount of secret rares. So that puts it closer to a 1,600 in my eyes. That's how I view it. So don't underestimate this comic just because it has a lot of issues or mints. Let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, I did put a note up there. So the Amazing Spider-Man is now up to a total of 4 issues. So if you're somebody who likes to collect or likes to collect for the Master Collector points, you'll have yourself a total of 9 daily points for each day. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Now, before I go, I do want to point out though, even though I have the Amazing Spider-Man number 14 as a A-lister, I might change it to a B-lister, but I want to see how the market goes with this one, because it is Spider-Man. That's kind of the reason why I have it in A-list. It does have a decent price for physical. It does have the Green Goblin, so that's kind of cool, and it's part of the MCU. But like I said, I'm wanting to let the market decide. If the market says, hey, we just don't want this, and they keep fighting it off, then, you know, I'll put it in the B list. They were kind of doing that with the other Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man number 50, but I refuse to take that off the A list because that is a very expensive comic on the physical side. I don't know why people would even, during the gym squeeze, they sold that thing for so cheap. It was pretty funny. So I'm gonna keep that thing A list. I don't care what the market says, but I will maybe change the Amazing Spider-Man number 14 if the market does not want it. And I'm trying to think of anything else to add to this. Just know that, you know, this can change from week to week. It depends on what's kind of trending as far as the market goes. Our new updates. So for instance, like we now know that 1400 might be the new normal for secret rares. So that kind of gives a lot of these comics, might put them in a new place maybe next week or 2 weeks from now. I might eventually have all the 600s in the C list and all the newer ones might be D list. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I will say though that market cap does dictate a lot of this stuff still. So if there's not a lot of money into the comic itself, then that's going to put it towards the bottom of the list for me. At least that's what I believe. Now, some of them I will override if, like I said, if the market just say they're not giving it a fair price, and I think it's actually worth a lot more than what, you know, other people are saying it is, I'm going to put it where I believe it's going to be, because it makes the most sense for me, because I think eventually we'll have enough users on here and then they'll see what I'm seeing and it's going to rise in price on the market. I'll give you an example of that. People don't seem to be treating the VeVe exclusive variants as gold. I think of them as gold to me. Like, I want every VeVe exclusive variant. I think eventually, once we get to, let's just make up a number, just say we get up to 5-6 million users. Those variants, there's only like 1,000 of them made. That means out of those 5 million users, if somebody wants all of them, that means there's only going to be 1,000 of the people that can get them. Technically, it's actually less than that, because the Thor, I mentioned this before in one of my other videos, the Thor only has like 500 of the VeVe exclusive variants. So in reality is, if everybody wants a VeVe exclusive variant, there's only going to be 500 that can actually do that. And I'm proud to say that I am one of those people. So I give it a lot of value. And anyways, that's about all I have right now. So thank you for watching.